Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for coming to join me. I've just done a 15-minute video and for some reason my phone switched off and I hadn't realised it had switched off. So I've made the decision to start again. So I've already started doing what I was doing, but it doesn't matter because we can catch up. I've not been around just lately. I've had a few things going on my end. We've had a sudden death in the family. One of my aunties passed away, and then 2 weeks later her son passed away as well. So it's been quite sad over here. So I've just been taking time with my mum, and sometimes life just gets in the way, doesn't it? But I'm back again, and I'm making a start on a Queen Victoria journal. So I've been collecting bits and pieces for a while to do this, but I have actually put off doing it because I just didn't quite know where to start. So I'm using the Queen Victoria kit from Andrea. So it's got some lovely kit pages, and this is I'll put a link below to her Etsy store where you can find it. So I think there's 7 journal pages in it with lots of lovely images that I really like. And then of course Andrea is also very generous when she does her ephemera pieces. So there's journaling cards, tags, some lovely tags, some more cards, and envelopes and things. So I've got lots to play with, so I don't know what I've been faffing around at. I'm also using these papers that I'm using for the front of the signatures are either William Morris or her autumn tear papers, but I've put them all together in one file on my laptop, so I wasn't sure when I printed them, but I really like them. So I'm going to try and do 2 journals. One's going to be a single signature soft cover, and then this one is going to be a hard cover, sort of with 3 signatures. So it's definitely got 2 signatures, and then the middle I'm still thinking about. So isn't that just beautiful? I think that's a William Morris paper, but isn't it just lovely the way it goes together? And I can use William Morris with Queen Victoria because they are of the same era. So I've put 2 signatures together. I think that's Andrea's autumn kit, but I liked how the papers went. I've also got some Queen Victoria quotes. So I'm happy with how I've got my papers laid out. I may add some more to it. I'm not sure. I found this quote from Queen Victoria about Albert. And I really liked it, so I've included it. I've copied it onto a piece of copy dyed paper. And then I put the image, it was that page, I printed it on tracing paper and I've cut it out and I've just sandwiched it between 2 pieces of paper because I thought that image with that quote from Victoria was just lovely. So they're my 2 signatures, first and second. So I'm going to be working on those. I've also got a couple of Queen Victoria books, and I've just taken some images out of these. I've got her sketchbook. So these are some sketches that she'd made. That's a picture of Queen Victoria with her mother that somebody painted. So, and I've also got Strand magazine. And when I looked through it, there were some pages about Buckingham Palace. So I'm including those as well. And then the page that's really made me giggle is, I don't know if you can see it here in the middle. This is a chapter on ears. How bizarre. This book, Strand magazine is from 1893, and it's got a picture or photograph of Queen Victoria's ear. It did make me giggle. So that's got to go in there somehow. I don't know whether to put it on a tag or leave it as a separate piece of paper, but hey ho. So I'm going to work on these 2 signatures. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it as yet, but then I'm never sure when I start a journal. But what I'd started doing when my phone switched off and I didn't realise was what I want to do on the front here is I want to put a pocket. It's going to be a pocket, not a flip. So it's going to be joined there and across the bottom. And I want it to see through to see that lovely paper. And then on the back, I just love this. And I didn't want to cover it up, but I'm happy just to put that on it. And then I've got one of those images, one of Queen Victoria's images of when she's in Scotland, and I think that just went really nice. So I'm going to use one of those in there as well. So I'd only done that bit when my phone decided to switch off. I don't know why it did, so I'm a bit paranoid watching it now. And then I'd started decorating the front, and I've started cutting it up now, but this was a piece of paper that was from Andrea, and it's one of her freebies. So it's a piece of paper that, I think it was like that, and it had that piece on it as well. And it was one of her freebies, and I thought I would just use that just to decorate this with. And I'd just realised when I'd cut it that these are actually bats on this, which I quite like. But I like the colours with the browns and that, so I wasn't worried that it was bats. And I don't think you're really going to see that they are anyway by the time it's on and I've covered it. Might just tear that off there. I just like the colour of it. So I'm going to stick that on there. So I hope you're all okay. I've had a horrendous cold. It is just a cold, it's nothing else, the last week or so. So I've been sniffling around, which is never pleasant, is it? Put that on there. Do you know, sticky fingers already, and I've covered everything that I'm going to use, I think. Just make that sure that's sticked on there. Have any of you done a Queen Victoria journal? I don't know why it's been really hard for me to start this. I got the kit from Andrea quite a while ago. I bet it's about 6 weeks ago. And then went on and made something else instead. And I've just been putting off doing this, and I don't know why. I really, really don't. I think I might try and use that other bit there. And I did think of looking on YouTube to see if other people had done a journal on Queen Victoria, but I do try not to look at what other people have made, because it kind of influences me on what I make, and I don't like to do that. I like as much as possible for it to be what I've made. Is that an upside down in the right way? I don't know. What's that going to look like against? See, I'm getting paranoid now that it's going to look odd on this. I don't think it will. I think back in the Victorian times they added all sorts of papers. No, that'll show up nicely, I think. And I'm going to leave it that bit longer. You're only going to get a little bit of it, because I'm going to fold it over and have that as a get your words out, Carol. I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to use it as a flap to stick down so it'll be a pocket. So you're only going to get a little bit of that, which is absolutely fine. That is fine, and I don't need it to be that big on the back. So I'm just going to cut that off there. And then I can have a look through at the different, where's my scissors gone, tags and things that Andrea's put in the kit, and decide what tag I want. I'm going to keep these little bits because you just never know when you're going to maybe need them, do you? I'm going to put my glue on here. Because I don't want to glue the bit that I want to be the hinge for to make it a pocket. It just makes it easier to go in, I always think, if you've got a bit of a flap round the back. I don't know what you call them. They've probably got a technical name, haven't they? You are faffing today, Carol. Go on. Go on, go on. There we go. That was hard work, wasn't it? Yeah, it should be. And then that. It's just going to be my bit that sticks on the cover to make it a pocket. Yes, I like that. just want a piece to go across there, don't I now? Do I want to use the same? I think I might try and get that purple flower actually. And I bet that's not very wide, just over half an inch. Just over half a. Yeah, I'm going to keep my little bits and pieces of paper. There, just stick that on there as well. I always think starting a journal is the hardest part. I think once I've got going a little bit, it starts coming together. I feel much happier. But I think the first piece, oops, upside down, the first piece that I do is always kind of the hardest. But then at the end of the day, as I say to myself, if I don't like it, it was an old envelope and I can print the papers again. So it's not set in stone that I've got to use it. If I don't like it for this project, I can keep it for something else. And that's a little bit long at the bottom. Look, it's sticking over. So that, oh, put your glue on. Put your glue on the lid, or your lid on the glue. Is that the right way up? It is. So that is going to be my pocket. This is the second signature. So that's going to go on there. And I do like that. I have got, I've printed out, Mrs. Coggs also has a Queen Victoria kit with lots of images on. And I was just looking because I know I've passed it a couple of times, but I think I've got one cut out. I might put that on there. Queen Victoria. Yeah, I think I will. Just going to get rid of this sticky page. I just want to make this not quite as white as it is. So who knows, maybe this one will become the first signature if it says Queen Victoria on there. Or maybe even I'll put this one on the front of the first signature. No, it doesn't go with that paper. Don't like that one. So I'm thinking, I can say Queen Victoria down there. Yeah, it is. Sorry, I'm really faffing, aren't I, today? And I can hear you. There's nothing new there, Carol. Faff away. And I think then I'll look for an image of Queen Victoria to go in there so that you can see why it says Queen Victoria on it. There we go. Let's put that on there. I like that. I do like that very much. So that's going to go on there as a pocket. I don't think that I want to stitch around it, but I might stitch around it, so I'm not going to glue it on, but that's going to go on there. So that's one piece done. Okay, and I might have time to try another one with you. For this one, I had thought that I would do, I've got an envelope somewhere. I wanted to do a tall pocket. So I think that that's what I'm going to do on this one. So let's just move those bits of papers out the way so I can kind of see or think what I'm doing. And I think I don't want the double width of this envelope because I think I want it to see, I'm trying to think what I want to do now. Gosh, golly, Carol, really are making a pig's ear out of this, aren't you? I don't want the bulk, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want the bulk of it on. Let me just snip the bottom off of that. That would have been easier to just cut that off all the way around, wouldn't it? Why make life easy for yourself though, eh? Why indeed? Right, get rid of that bit. I don't need all of that on there. So get rid of that. I didn't want the double thickness of the envelope, that's what I'm saying, because what I wanted was to be able to see the pattern still through the window. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I wanted to do. So that's going to go that way. So actually I don't need that bottom on there. So I can cut that off. Right, so what am I left with? Not a lot. I'm left with a little bit of the envelope. Cut that straight. So what I'm left with is I've got two little flaps that I can use at the sides. So they're going to stick onto the paper so that I've got a pocket there. And then I'm going to want to flap that up there like that, so that it's got a pocket as well. That's what I want to do. So I can cut this extra bit off this pocket. And again, if it doesn't work out, I've wasted an envelope, which won't be the end of the world, will it? Not the amount of bills we get through these days, I tell you. And the bank, joint bank account with my husband, and yet we both get the same letters from the bank. What a waste of post that is. So that's going to be a pocket like that. Ta-da! Happy with that. Right. So what papers do I want to use? Oh, I've also got some tags, look, that were left over from Andrea's William Morris kit. So I thought I might use those as well. I've got some tartan pages, and I thought I might do some tartan on it because Queen Victoria was very popular on Scotland. Not that one, that's a silly one. And I don't know where I've got these from. I've had them a long time. Not that one, it's blurred. Quite like that green with the blue. I think it blends in a bit much, doesn't it? So we don't want that one. That's quite a big weave. I like that because it's got the yellow in. So I'm going to use that one. Okay, decision made. I'm going to use it for these bits. I am indeed. I need to cut it, don't I? Sorry folks, I feel really disjointed today. If you're bearing with me, I really do appreciate it. And if it's been too disjointed for you, then I'll catch you next time. Not a problem. Or I hope I'll catch you next time. You know, I can't even remember a measurement. 2 inches, just less than 2. I'm going to cut it at 2 inches, and then I'm not, you know, I'm going to flap that over, and that can... That is what I'm going to do. I've made a sudden decision. I'm going to leave them on. I'm not going to take them off at all. And then I'll turn this, fold it round so that it just makes the envelope a bit sturdier, because after all, it is only an envelope, so it's not that strong, is it? Take that off there and stick it on. Get it sticked on there. I I think one of the favourite places that Victoria went to was Balmoral up in Scotland, and then she also had the house that they built on the Isle of Wight. But I thought I'd had these tartan papers printed a while and not used them, and I thought really they're quite ideal, aren't they, for decorating a Queen Victoria. To just break that William Morris paper up a little bit, won't it? I'm going to cut that off there. Sticky. And that's going to fold round the back. Do I want it all on? I think I may as well accept that. Would I then need to match the... I could kind of match it. No, you couldn't. That doesn't even match. It's there, isn't it? Honestly, Carol, you couldn't match it if you tried, because that doesn't even match. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, Carol? Let's stick it down the other side. Let's take that off there. There we go. I don't think it really matters. I just thought it might throw the eye if it doesn't match. But it doesn't seem, I can't even find the match. That's it there, look. There. I'm going to cut that there and I'm going to stick that on there. Have done with it. There we go. I know it won't match, but I'm not worried about it. I'm going to put something different in between. Let's just cut that off there. We don't need it all, do we? So it's going to be a way too big flap. Bits of paper everywhere. Gosh. Stuck. And then at least this top edge will be a bit thicker as well, won't it? Do I want a piece of that in there? Do I want a little bit of I'm going to use that. I've got bits of paper everywhere now, look. Let's just take this off here. That pink's very pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to put a bit of that up there. I had a ruler. I know I've said I'm sorry this is disjointed, but I haven't planned what I'm going to do with this. I just thought it seems a long time since I joined you all last. So I thought I would just come and say hi and show you what I'm up to. So I hope it's okay for you. I think sometimes I do worry that you're seeing what you want to see. And then hopefully this is going to look all right on the page when I've done. Take that off there. Get rid of those. I think I can refold that now. Oopsie daisy, that didn't go very straight. That one folds there and that one folds just there. I think I might, do I want that to be a little side tuck? Maybe I do. Maybe I do, you know. Sorry, but I've gone very quiet because I'm kind of thinking I might like to put that on there and then I would fold that round there to close that pocket. That would fold there and that would go up there. That would just neaten it up a little bit. I think, as Rachel says, bodgy crafting on the fly. Let's see if it works out. We don't need that extra thickness just there. But this is only copy paper, so I'm going to fold that back because that's going to be a flap to the little pocket. And it is only going to be a little pocket, but I'm sure I can find something that will go in there. And then I just need something to go over here before I put that pocket on. I think I might put that on. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, sorry folks, I just could not see what I was doing. The camera's right in front of my nose, and I just couldn't see what I was up to. So that's going to flap up like that. I'm going to fold it round there to become part of that flap. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. So then I've got a pocket, if I haven't sealed it up, pocket just there, look. And then I've got this little bit that I thought I might put on there. As a little pocket. Do I want to or not? I think if I do, it needs to go like that. And maybe I'll have it not at the top, so it goes a little pocket like that. In which case I just need to put something on just there. Sorry, I'm really faffing with this, aren't I? I think I'm making this a lot more difficult than it needs to be. What do you think? You probably are, Carol. But once you've committed yourself, you have to see it through and see if it works. If this works, we're sorted. I'm going to put that, sorry, I'm just going to put that a bit closer to me so I can just see what I'm doing. That's going to go there like that, just to strengthen that little bit. That's now strengthened and strengthened. Doesn't help that my fingers are so sticky. And my little bit of glue I am going to put on here and on there. Oh, throwing it at myself. And then that is going to go on there like that. So that's only stuck down. This art glitter glue is very unforgiving. So only stuck down on those two sides. Maybe I'll have to round that edge, but I'll see when it's dry. So that will be a tuck spot just there, and it's a pocket. It's a pocket just there as well. So I've got one there and one there, and then it's going to go. Oh, it does look pretty, look. On there like that, with a tag in, and I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. Yes, I am. So I'm going to leave it there for now. So I hope you like what I've been doing so far. So I've only done 2 little envelopes, so I'm sorry I've not done much. But it's a start, isn't it? So I hope to catch you guys later. Please take care. Bye.